Damien Dennis here for the Pit Media. I'm joined by the Pit's Michigan beat writer Topher Nowak. We are here in Chicago, Illinois for Big Ten football media days. Now, Topher, we just heard from head coach Jim Harbaugh a little while ago, and Coach talked a little bit about, well, really everything, but one big topic he mentioned, one big topic he discussed for a little bit at length was the starting quarterback position. Right now, in his words, he says he's got three guys tied for first place, meaning he's got three guys vying for that starting quarterback job come September 2nd against Florida in Arlington, Texas. Topher, tell me a little bit about these guys.
Well, you got Wilton Speight, who was the starting QB last year. He started 11 games for the Wolverines. He did have one of his flaws is really he does throw interceptions. And that's something he didn't do when he was backing up Rudock, but last year he seemed to have that issue, and it seemed to happen during the spring game. He's not as accurate as Brandon Peters, who also performed very well in the spring game, who is probably his best competition. Not to say that John O'Korn, who is probably the more mobile threat of the three, but O'Korn still has that idea that he can just run wherever he wants to go instead of actually throwing the ball downfield.
Right.
So each of them have consistencies and something that separates them from each other. The one thing about Peters is he's a more accurate passer.
All right. Now, a little bit about Peters that I just learned was that he's a freshman coming in this year. What would it mean if Michigan went with a freshman quarterback, especially over two guys who have been proven to do fairly well at the University of Michigan?
I mean, if Peters did get the nod, I said it would be something that the coaching staff this year trusts him. They actually have to trust him, and he did come in as a highly touted recruit out of Indiana, which is a great place to be, but the one thing about him is that he shows it. In that spring game, he was rushed a little. He had to clear up. I mean, that Michigan defensive line is still pretty impactful, but he still proved that he could still get rid of that ball really quickly. And that's a concept that Michigan really does need.
Now, Topher, do you think Peters would benefit standing behind Wilton Speight and John O'Korn this year? Because clearly Peters is going to be the future moving forward after these two guys graduate. Does he benefit more by earning the starting role, or does he benefit more by serving behind those guys?
I think he benefits it more by actually earning the role. By standing behind them, he's not doing himself any favors. I mean, every year Michigan goes out and finds another 5-star prospect. So you really have to say is, how can he compete?
Right.
And can he compete? I mean, you want a guy that's one of the things that Harbaugh's always said. You want somebody to compete with them, and that's something that I do think that if Peters competes and earns that spot, after 15 practices is what Harbaugh thinks is going to take for him to know who his starter would be. If he competes and he shows what he did during that spring game, I don't see an issue why he wouldn't be the starter.
Now, you mentioned something right there. Jim Harbaugh said it could take up to 15 practices before he knows who is going to be the starting quarterback. Now, he said that after the spring game, after the spring practices, everybody was tied for first place, basically. However, he mentioned that these guys can do stuff in the offseason, in the summer, to kind of give them an edge, hone their skills a little bit. You don't need other guys. You don't need someone there to catch the balls for you. You can throw the football into a net, work on your dropbacks, work on your movements, your footwork. But he said it's going to come down to who actually did that stuff during the summer.
Yeah, so Wilton's in a good spot. He comes in really tied for first with John O'Korn and Brandon Peters, legitimately through competition throughout all the spring. It went through 15 practices and was a dead heat. But the good news is they all did some things that really, Brandon really shot up. John O'Korn really played consistently good, and Wilton really had some impressive moments as well. I mean, we'll go through training camp starting on Monday. Just throw the balls out there, let the fellas compete. there's a lot that a quarterback can do over the summer to get better at playing quarterback. It's one of those positions like a kicker. Quarterback can just go out there and throw balls into a net, can work on their drops. There's a lot of ways that they don't even need other players to be out there to improve some part of their skill game, much like a kicker. So you want to see what's transpired over the summer and see who's gotten better. And then who gives our team the best chance to move the ball, score touchdowns, and put points on the board, not turn the balls over, and probably take about anywhere from 8 to 15 practices to figure that out. Historically, that's what it usually takes. I'm looking forward to it. Both in a good spot.